back to a new episode of Fika for
Life.
My name is Edward Thomas. My co-host is
Linh Nguyen. Hello.
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 Well, we want to welcome everyone back to our the
blah, blah,
blah. Exactly. Because, during this time of Corona, you just never know what to say. My mind is
You have been
flat.
social distancing so much, you don't even know how to speak anymore.
I don't know how to talk to anybody anymore. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to talk to Lynn. I haven't talked to anybody in weeks. Okay. But anyway, we have a really exciting topic today.
Is it exciting for you?
Not really.
Is it because it's not relevant for you?
It's not relevant for me. I'm not single, no. And so we just want to make sure that as we put this out there, we're not thinking about any specific person.
No.
We're not
general.
Sharing information that a person says, oh, they're talking about that person. We're just speaking in a general way, but we're going to step on some toes today. And so we just want to say, we're sorry.
We're only sorry. If we are sorry for hurting your feelings because you are a super hyper sensitive
person, because you're a baby and a whiner. No, okay.
No, not like that, but more like I think what we are saying comes from experience, comes from talking to a lot of people, comes from observation.
Yeah.
It's not like something. We are not only hanging out with our spouses and never meeting any single people.
No.
And just making up those things, but instead we just want to give pointers because we could be those friends that are just that you don't want to be friends with anymore after this.
We're the kind of people that you probably should never ask that question. If you want to know the truth, if you ask Lynn and I, we will tell you the truth, and then you'll get your feelings hurt. Because you're like, they said that I need to brush my teeth. And I'm like, yes, you do. That's because you got people hanging in there going like, look, the bacteria's having a party.
I would say, you ask me, so.
Yeah, really. It's like, blame that on yourself. Why did you ask me? No.
So our topic is, why do single people keep doing things that
keeps them single
because they don't want to be single?
Or they say that.
Yeah.
We know lots of single people who say they don't want to be single, but
everything they do indicates, yes, they do want to be single.
They keep doing the things that, makes it like, oh, wow, you're never going to meet anybody, so.
And now people would say, oh, you're so judgmental.
Yes, we are.
Why would you say that? And people should love...
Because you already took the plank out of our eyes. We took the tree out of our eyes, and now we can see the dust in yours.
The log.
Yes.
You take the log in your eyes and the speck out someone else.
Yeah.
Don't you ever read your Bible?
Well, it says different things in different translations.
But the speck and the log, I think everyone knows that one.
In the Swedish Bible, it says it's a beam, a piece of wood.
Well, beam, log, whatever.
Obviously, you never built a house before. See, this is the thing that's wrong with Lynn. She never built a house before.
Oh, my. Okay, so So first of all, why do you think people end up being single even though they don't want to? Is it because of all the things they are doing wrong?
Yes. Every relationship starts with yourself. And what you need to do is just take a good look at yourself. You need to ask a good friend, or you should ask someone who you don't want to be friends with anymore. And you just say, listen, tell me the truth about myself.
What about asking your mother? Do you think mothers would be honest?
Nah.
No?
My mother loves me.
Nothing is wrong with you, Edward.
One day I say, oh, Mom, I'm really overweight. She's like, you're just big bone. There's nothing wrong with you. Who said that to you? I'm like, what? My mom's going to kill them. She's like already put on her gloves and her baseball bat. Who said that about
You're
my
like,
son?
my doctor?
Yeah, exactly. I'll get him. I'll start praying against him. He's the enemy. No, so I think that that there's some self-insight, and you have to be able to to accept the truth about yourself. You know, and all of us have bad sides. We have good sides. And sometimes those things don't always work in our favor. And we have to be open to the truth. And if you're not open to the truth, then you're never gonna change those things. You'll constantly be in that whole cycle. I don't want to be single. I want to find someone. And you'll keep making the same mistakes, expecting a different result, which makes you crazy.
It's like insanity.
Yeah, exactly. Just had to throw that one out there.
But I mean, having self-insight and having those things being told to you, I think is also a danger that people fall into the victim role.
Yeah, because you can feel, you shouldn't feel sorry for yourself.
Because you're like, oh, but poor me.
No, if
I can't do this.
If I wasn't so fat, if I wasn't so skinny, if I wasn't so tall, if I wasn't so smart, whatever your hang-up is. And that's not true. Because actually, if you look around, you can see lots of fat people who are together with other people. And you see lots of stupid people who are together with people. And you see smart people. You see people who have it together and people who don't. So it's obviously not about all those kind of different things that you should feel sorry about. It's just that maybe those people actually did something about it and you haven't.
Or they are in really bad relationships.
Yeah, really. Yeah. The grass is greener on the other side until you get there and you're like, oh my gosh.
It smells poopy.
It's not grass. It's plastic. They just spray it.
So what do you think do people do that's not helping them? What do they keep doing? So before we talked about...
They're probably just not telling the truth about themselves. I mean...
Or they don't know, you mean? They don't know or they don't accept?
Okay.
Or...
It's their mother and father's fault.
What?
I'm going to go Sigmund Freud. It's that primary family. It's because if your parents didn't teach you how to brush your teeth, you go into adulthood without knowing how to take care of your mouth. If they didn't teach you the benefits of regular showers, maybe a little conditioner when you got out of the shower, some deodorant, antiperspirant deodorant, not just the cover-up stuff, but the stuff that helps to maintain the funk. You don't want to... Some people say, oh, but it's so nice for human beings to have a musk.
Ew, who says this?
Oh, I know people.
Oh, they're single.
They're single, of course. Listen, the only things that like musk is a musk ox. Okay?
And they only like the musk of their own kind.
Exactly. Because if you smell that bad, you should run.
You should run.
I'll hose you down. We're not being insensitive. Yes, we are. But anyway.
So we're talking about personal hygiene, and that's
personal hygiene
body
is really,
smell, body odor.
Personal hygiene is really important. If you have a beard,
it's a basic.
Keep your beard trimmed. If you need to get a haircut, if you've got, like I have afro hair, there's things I can do to make my hair better. I don't have to let it get all nappy and looking crazy like it's a weed garden or something. And if you have really straight, stringy hair, there's things you can do. Do the things you need to do to
look proper,
decent.
Yeah. It's not about being a fashion model. It's not about wearing the most fashionable clothes. It's not about showing a lot of flesh. It's not about impressing people. It's just basic. I call it basic human skills.
Well, that someone didn't teach you, or you haven't learned, or you can't learn. I don't know.
It's not about. Come on, we talked about the victim role. It's not about that you can't learn it.
Yeah.
Come on.
My son has Down syndrome and he brushes his teeth and he does take a bath on his own. So, you're going to have a hard time convincing me.
If he can do it.
You're going to have a hard time convincing me,
If he can do it, I'm sure you can do it.
So, and even he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
They've been together for 3.5 years, 4 years now almost.
See?
So, obviously, yeah.
So you can't even like a really... a disability, you can't even say that disability would exclude you from the dating market.
I tried to date a girl once who had only one leg.
That's not a big issue, though.
It was for her.
Yeah, well, but then that's a problem if it's a problem for her. So,
yeah, because she's like, you don't really like me. I'm like, I do like you, but I only have one leg. I know.
Because then I love you less for one leg.
I'm like, oh, and so what? You have a fake leg and you have a real leg. I'm like,
makes all the difference.
Whatever. She's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, okay, you got mental problems.
You got.
I'm like, I can't be your psychiatrist. And so it never happened. Too bad. You never know what you missed out on, girl.
This juice.
My wife is like every day. Edward Thomas, you're the man I've always dreamed of. She doesn't say that. I wish she would say that.
Isn't that also an issue with single people that they have this weird expectations?
Yeah.
Because you're talking from weird expectations.
Okay. I just have weird ones. No, I mean, but if you have unrealistic expectations, so either you're thinking that you need to find the perfect person, or you need to find the person who's going to make you complete. People don't make you complete.
Good luck with
People
that.
don't make you better. Getting married does not make your life better. It could in some aspect, but usually what marriage does is that it reveals all your little quirks. Wherever you're messed up at, marriage will take that and bring it to the surface.
Did you know that statistics say that men benefit from marriage, but women are just as happy as if they would be single, or they are worse off?
Did
you know that?
I don't think that's true.
Well, it's data, man. It's not something it's not an opinion. It's what they have observed.
How can a man be better off being married?
How someone is taking, especially when they get older, someone's taking care of you.
I don't need a woman to take care of me.
Dude, you don't have.
I can wash my own clothes.
You haven't seen all the men whose wives are taking care of for their medicine and cooking and cleaning for them and taking care of them and pushing them to go to the doctor. And now you have to get a move. You want this and this and this and this. And I'm like, oh wow.
Well, I've never understood that. A man that cannot cook or clean or anything like that, and But this, I mean, in most
that's
most
how you
relationships,
raised them.
In most relationships, it is women doing a lot of the work and men doing a lot of the receiving. That's not my case. I wish it was. So
you can't.
And every time I come home, I'm just like, huh? Nobody made me dinner. Nobody's like, hey, oh honey, I'm so happy you're here. Sit down. Let me get you a beer. Let me massage your feet.
Let's go back to unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
How do you know your expectations are unrealistic?
Because when you tell them to people, they laugh at you.
Really?
Yeah.
But what if you're really convinced?
Okay.
But that's like the
They probably won't laugh at you because they don't want to be considered to be mean. They laugh at you behind your back. Put a microphone there and listen to what they say. Oh my gosh, can you believe I said that? No, because they're not based in reality. See, a person who has realistic expectations, and you talk to other people, because you have to let people tell you the truth. The only way you're going to know is that someone tells you, really? So, let's say that you really value a person's education. You really want to be married to someone who has an academic degree.
Because maybe you have one.
No, but you never went to college.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The thing
How
is
do you meet them then?
The thing is that it might work.
Yeah. Through mutual friends or something.
But if you really value things like that, those things should be reflected inside of you. And if you feel it's good for your partner to have an academic education, you have to ask yourself why. Is it because it makes you look better? Now you're just using the person.
Ooh.
Is it because you're hoping that they will be able to get a better job?
So they can provide for you?
So you're still using the person. Is it because you look up to people who have an academic education and you want someone to admire? You're still using the person. Because you're using, so it's
you make it sound really bad.
It is bad. But often the things that we're looking for in a partner should be somehow complemented by us. So if I value someone who has an academic degree, first, I would never date anyone who didn't have an academic degree. Because if that's what I really wanted, that's where my standard is.
Wow. But you say that this sounds like an unrealistic one.
No, it's unrealistic if you yourself have never studied.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so say like, so you got through high school, and now you marry someone who has an academic degree. And maybe they're not done with their degree when you start meeting them, and you don't really understand how much studying you really have to do sometimes. Certain fields of study just require a lot of time devoted to study. But because you've never been in that situation, it'll be hard for you to understand what it's like. It's hard for you to
relate,
support the person, relate to them. It's hard for you to to really be involved in that process. And unfortunately, there are certain things that limit us in life, and there's certain things that don't limit us in life. And so we have to be able to understand that, if if I want someone who's cultured.
But you never go to the theater or know anything about music.
Yeah, it's just like...
But that's weird, though. Why would you want that? Because
you think it'll make you a better person. Sometimes people reach for things that they think it's higher up, they think will make them into a better person.
But that's weird because then you have nothing to talk about. Let's say the other one is the total geek, and you are like, okay, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, so it works if you're, let's say you've never gone to college, but you read a lot. So then you're able to gain an insight into things because you've amassed a lot of information through your reading. That even though you didn't study something, you're still well read, and that gives you you can enter the conversation. You don't feel stupid, because what happens is people who have a higher education tend to speak like people who have a higher education, and people who don't tend to speak like people who don't. And sometimes, how would you say this? The person with a higher education might sound intelligent.
Or it might sound condescending.
Or because they're using words that you don't use. Like, why do you have to use all those big words? Why can't you just use regular words? But for that person, they are regular words because of what they've been exposed to.
Yeah.
And that's one of those kind of things that, because if you feel like you're less than in a relationship, that's usually not a good place to be.
And I think also that I've experienced that a lot of people who are in the not academic position, that they receive things as being condescending, or they feel like they are being treated unfairly or made look dumb or something. But I think most of the time people really don't have that intention at all.
No, exactly.
And it's not about them not having studied, but it's more about that maybe other people talk about other things, and then they
can get exposed to those kind of things. And
so education is one thing that would be an unrealistic thing if you don't match. What about money? What about like income? What about employment situation?
So when I was young, I sang out with people who had a lot more money than I did, and in some ways it was kind of difficult because they were like, "Oh,
let's do this.
We're planning on taking this trip to Europe." Well, I didn't have the money.
No,
I couldn't go home and say, "Hey, my friends go to Europe. Can I get some money?" There was nothing, and I didn't want them to know how poor I was. So that was my hang up. I should have said, "Hey, I really can't afford it. Maybe we could do something else." My friends probably would have said, "Oh, we can do something else.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Grand Canyon instead, or something." And they would have been cool with that and just taking their trip to Europe at another time.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't be honest about where I was at, then I didn't give them an opportunity to respond to that.
No. To respond the real you.
To the real me.
Yeah.
Which means I wasn't really showing them the real me.
No.
Because it was embarrassing. But why? Why was it embarrassing? Because there was something inside my head that made me think that people who had money would look down upon people without money. Because sometimes it was like that, but it didn't have to be that way.
But you didn't give them a chance to prove you wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's one of those kind of things like where money comes in, or
employment situation.
Or just having a job.
If you're unemployed and you say, "Oh, I only want to date someone who is well off and has a stable job."
Yeah, see, because
I always feel like maybe when we talk about unrealistic expectations, is you got to start from where you are at.
Yeah.
It's really strange if let's say you have really bad personal hygiene, you're unemployed, you're not really well educated, you don't take care of yourself, and then you want this bachelor guy from TV, and then it's like, I don't know if that's realistic.
It's not. You probably, Cinderella story, 1 out of 10 million. It could happen. Yeah. More than likely.
No.
No. It's not you.
It's not, you are not the 1 in a million.
No.
You are one of the 9,999,999.
Pull that big brain out there. There you go. That's why I hang out with Lynn, because she's so smart. I don't have to be. No, but I think that's one of those things that we have to really, in talking to people and counseling people who are looking to become married and trying to help people to see the truth about themselves, or if you're, so some people are just stupid. Now I'm thinking about specific people.
You're really diplomatic today.
No, I'm not.
Some people are just stupid.
It's Corona. Corona's making me like this.
Rude, bold.
I don't have to talk to people anymore, so now I can just say what I think, No, but I think that sometimes I've seen so many people get involved in relationships that are just so obviously wrong. And everyone's telling them that it's wrong, and they don't listen.
No.
And then the relationship falls apart.
And then
they're still seeing.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know why this always happens to me. Because you don't listen. Because you're stupid. Because every time someone tries to tell you you shouldn't do this, you go off and you do it. And then you go, I don't know why it always happens to me. Because you don't listen. So I think that's, knuckleheads who don't listen will always end up making the same mistake. Because they will keep repeating themselves because they don't listen.
Does it mean that they can't see the forest because of all the trees, or?
No, I just think they're convinced themselves that they can walk through the tree. They keep bumping into it. They run into it. Bam! Hit the head, get laid out. They're all like unconscious. Like, I gotta try one more time because the next time I'm gonna win. Like, no, the next time you're gonna get knocked out again. Don't be on my parade. You're so negative. Why can't you be happy for me? Like, because you're going to get knocked out, stupid. Wham.
So who then should those people listen to? Because you can also get a lot of bad advice.
They should listen to me. If they just listen to me. Listen, if you're having problems, come to me. I'll straighten you out, but you're not going to like what you hear. But I will tell you the truth.
I feel like even if you tell people,
they don't listen.
Yeah, they don't listen.
No.
It doesn't. I don't know why. Is it because we don't have any merits anymore because we are married and have... It's like, oh, you were out of the game for so long, so what do you know?
You have someone, so you can't tell me. I'm like, maybe that's why. Still married. Listen, maybe I might know something. Please listen, No, I think a lot of people they don't even seek advice.
No.
A lot of people they make up their mind.
Movies.
Yeah, well, they just make up their mind. They think they know everything, and they make up their mind, and they don't. And I think deep down inside, they know that they're doing something that's wrong. There's something that's unwise, and so they don't want to ask for advice because they don't want to hear the truth.
Or they think it's like, no, it can't be this.
Yeah, it can't be me.
It can't be me.
I saw 3 needles hanging out of his arm, and he just went into the liquor store and came out with a bag of money and shooting behind him, going, the cops will never get me, bang, bang. But he's probably not a robber and a drug dealer. No.
I'm just saying, if it talks like a duck and it walks like a duck.
That's probably a duck. Just putting it out there, And I think that's one of the things that some things are just so obvious,
For other people.
We're not talking about the hidden things. I'm thinking like most people know you. And most people know what you're doing wrong. You just have to be able to listen to that.
Or to ask for advice.
And if you listen to that and are willing to do the work, I think most people are just too lazy to do the work.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the work because to be presentable, to get into the dating game, to find someone to be with requires work, just like marriage requires work.
Time and energy.
And if
that's work.
And if you're not unwilling to do that, then you're not going to get any results, period.
If you don't spend time on it and don't spend any energy on it, it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, learn to be social. I know guys who say, "Oh, I'm single. I don't know why it's working." I'm like, because no one can talk to you about anything. You kill every conversation. Hey, how are you doing? Good. You don't even say, "I'm doing good. How about you?" That gets the conversation going. You're just like, good. I'm okay.
So one sentence response.
Yeah,
one word response.
Caveman. Like I just woke up out of the ice, and I have 5-word vocabulary. I only say one of those words at a time. Can't put them together in a sentence. Good, bad, hungry. Me hungry.
So that's more about
words.
Guys. But I think in
girls are too.
But I think most of the time,
okay, girls don't usually have a problem talking.
No, not talking part, but I think.
But they do. Some girls are really super shy.
Yeah.
So I know a couple of girls that I know. I think you might know them too. And so in talking to them, I can never get any information about them. I'm like, say, how are you doing? Fine. Okay.
Well, that's also a one-word sentence.
Exactly. And they never ask you how you're doing.
No.
And so what happens is that no person would ever feel like that person is concerned about them because they never ask questions about the other person. They don't give anything. They don't share anything about themselves. They never really go into detail about how they feel, what they've experienced, what they've done. And this is the basic premise of conversation is that you're sharing back and forth. You're listening, you're asking questions about the other person, and you're sharing about yourself.
Yeah.
And it's what conversation's about. And if you don't know how to do that,
if you fail on one of those 3 things, it's very hard.
but learn. Conversation is learned. Find someone. Say, listen, I don't know how to talk to girls. Okay, fine. Let's role play.
Let's get a girl. This is my friend, Francine.
I think I was going to put on a dress.
She's a girl.
And I could be the girl.
She's a girl. Let's talk to her. I was thinking even more advanced. Like, I think girls can have difficulties showing affection. Like, if they I don't know.
Why? You guys hang all over each other.
Yeah, but I mean, to guys.
Before Corona.
I mean, towards guys. Let's say I'm a girl and I'm social and so on, but now I'm really interested in this guy. How do I signalize to this guy that I like you especially much? And not like you're friend zone like everyone else. Because I think guys nowadays, they are just concerned like, no, she doesn't like me the way I do. Or they don't even have like this thought that she might like me.
I think guys nowadays just play video games.
Socially dead.
They're just like, I don't know, zombies. All right. Well, we should probably take this up on the next episode. Yeah. So the next time you hear from us, we're going to talk about this whole thing with like showing affection. How do you really show affection to someone and they know that you really like them? It's really, really simple. It's easy. I'm going to tell you. You're going to say, that's wrong.
No spoilers.
Like, this is a cliffhanger. You're going to say, you're wrong. I'm like, it is. Right. Please write to us. Even during the Corona time, we read all the things that our listeners say, and we'd love to respond to all the questions that you have. We hope that you're staying safe, keeping distance from each other, and that you're washing your hands and are not coughing on people or spitting on them or slobbering on them.
Or sneezing on them.
Please do that to yourself in your own crook of the arm. Until we meet again, this is Ed Thomas and
Linh Nguyen
saying
bye. Hear you later.
Hey, see ya.
Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or ideas, please send us a message to fikaforlife@mail.com. Fika, F-I-K-A. This was the Fika for Life podcast with Linh Nguyen and Edward Thomas, and we hope to hear you again.